All right, everyone. So today I wanted to share with you guys a few reasons of why you might want to check out Battle Breakers, which is a new RPG hero collector by Epic Games. They've actually been working on it for a while and it's finally released. And I must say myself, I did not think that I would spend as long playing it this morning as I did, but it's one of those games where you really get enveloped with all the crazy stuff there is to do early on, and the game just keeps throwing you a whole bunch of stuff, free goods, and it was really hard to actually stop playing in order to make this video. So I will also say though that this is going to be sponsored by Epic Games, so a big thank you for sponsoring the video today. And in particular, I wanted to share with you guys 10 reasons why you might want to consider trying out this game. If you do try it out though, please feel free to use the creator code NOTSALT. It does help out, and it also helps gauge how many people watch this video. And those of you guys who did try it out, let me know any kind of feedback or comments that you want to, and I'll definitely keep an eye on all of your guys' feedback in the video today. So with that being said, let's jump right to it. We're in the actual loading screen right now. So here is my account. I've only been playing it for one day. I've already completed a good part of the first section of the game. You can see here are my heroes and all the things that I've been working on. Now, I don't really want to get too far ahead of myself, so let's jump into some of the reasons why this game is going to be worth taking a look at. And let's start off with number one. One of the things that I personally absolutely love about this game, and easily going to be number one on the list, is there is no energy system. I love it. This is going to be both a mobile game and also there's a PC client as well. And almost every game similar, especially games in this RPG hero collecting genre, they all have energy systems where you have to really kind of min-max your energy, and sure, you feel rewarded for playing for a certain period of time, but you really quickly run out of this energy, and then you either have to spend money, in-game currency, or you have to wait a really long time for your energy to refill in order to continue playing. Now, Battle Breakers doesn't have any kind of energy system. The great thing is you could just play however much you want to play, which is one of the reasons why I've been playing all this morning, is normally I'd run out of energy and then I'd be able to make the video, but they don't have that kind of system, so you can just play the game as much as you want, you can farm as much as you want, get as many crafting materials, experience, level up all your units, kind of go through and get all of your stars, do all that stuff without having to worry about any kind of hard cap or limitation system like most games have. So definitely going to be the top thing on my list of reasons why you might want to check out this game. Now let's move on to number two though, and number two is another really big one. Now I'll talk about this for a little bit because it's important, but Battle Breakers has a very good auto battle, easily going to be one of the best auto battles that I've ever seen in any games in a similar genre. Now, the interesting thing about this game is the actual battle mechanic is quite complicated. It's definitely not something that you are going to understand right away, and I'll just hop into the first battle here just to show you guys what it looks like without auto battle, and you don't really have to feel bad. This is something that's going to take a lot of time and understanding the game to really learn how to min-max it. But as you can see, there's going to be a lot going on with actually breaking the crystals, and then enemies are going to pop up. You have an elemental affinity system where you're strong against certain enemies, weak against others. A lot of games have a similar system, but there's really a very particular way that you're going to want to do things in order to get the most efficiency out of a battle. And when you first start out, it's not really going to be something that you are super confident with. It's going to take a while, and even me right now, I'm still just learning a lot of the basics on how to optimize your battles. The good news is the auto battle feature is very, very strong. It'll do a great job of getting you through the battles, and it allows you to take the time to learn all the other aspects of the game that are more important early on, and then later on, once you've kind of figured out all the other stuff, you can kind of go through and learn how to optimize your manual battles, because it's going to be more important later on than it is earlier on. The content earlier on is not going to be difficult enough to the point where you have to use your manual battles, so auto will absolutely get you through it. So I know a lot of people have different opinions on auto battle, but this is both a PC and a mobile hybrid game. There are clients for both. So, you know, the actual manual battle is not going to be the absolute most important thing when you first start out. There's going to be plenty of other more important things that you're going to want to be learning. Now moving on to number 3 on the list, and that is going to be the early game is guided very well with tutorials, suggestions, and other mechanics that are going to really help you learn the game and kind of get to a point where you're not making a lot of mistakes. Now, when it comes to hero collector RPG games like this, one of the big themes that you'll see is it's very easy to make a lot of mistakes early on that are either going to set you back in your progress or you're going to have to restart your account. And Battle Breakers does a really good job of having a lot of systems in place to really try to get you to learn the game as best as you can. You obviously have this play feature which will suggest which actual battles to go through next. In the heroes menu, you'll have a very useful hero helper menu, which will actually try to optimize not only your team, but also optimize your upgrades. As you can see right here, there are certain things that I can do to make my team more powerful right now, and that'll help you out. Now, these are all things that you're probably going to want to learn individually yourself later on, but earlier, you're going to get too overwhelmed figuring this stuff out all once at a time, so don't feel bad taking advantage of all the different systems that the game is going to have in place to make it easier to kind of break things down. There's a lot in this game. The game really throws a lot of content at you, a lot of stuff at you right away, so you're going to need to use these systems if you really want to kind of get through the game. I highly avoid you going through and trying to do absolutely everything yourself right off the bat because it's just going to be too much of a struggle. All right, now moving on to number 4, the Battle Pass system. So this game is by Epic Games. I'm sure a lot of you guys are probably pretty familiar with Fortnite and Fortnite's Battle Pass system, but Battle Breakers has their own Battle Pass system. It is a little bit different, but it's actually pretty cool. And those of you guys who are not really a huge fan of spending a lot of money on mobile games, and because, you know, their packs are so expensive and everything is super overpriced, the Battle Pass system is definitely going to be an interesting twist when it comes to that. So if we go to chests, you'll see it right here, Battle Pass Dark Frost Castle. So you can see it does cost money. It is $5, but you get a whole bunch of stuff that you actually unlock with this Battle Pass. Definitely way more than $5 worth of goods. You're probably looking at, I don't know exactly how much, but it's got to be $100 or so worth of actual goodies just from the Battle Pass itself. It might not be quite that much, but it's definitely a good amount. The thing is, you actually have to play the game in order to unlock these goods. You have to get the levels, you have to do the work, and then you unlock stuff. So you can't just buy it and then automatically get everything. The other really cool thing about the Battle Pass, though, is that even if you don't decide to buy it right away, it's not like you're missing out. You're still earning the experience for the Battle Pass even before purchasing it. And later on, if you've been playing the game for a while, if you then decide to go back and purchase it, you'll still have all that experience saved up. So that's really cool. Definitely one of the awesome features about it, and a great way to get a whole bunch of stuff without having to spend a lot of money for it like you might otherwise have to do in many similar games. So that's going to be the 4th thing on the list right there. Now moving on to number 5, this is definitely one of the really big advantages of having the game produced by a large studio like Epic Games, is that it does have separate optimized clients for both PC and mobile. So you can play this game not just on the PC or not just on mobile, but you can play it on both. Yes, your account progress is saved to your Epic Games account, so it's not like you can only play one account on PC and then you have to play a completely separate one and start over on mobile. That's absolutely not the case. And the great news as well is they're both optimized for whatever device that you are using. So it's going to be very smooth, and you don't really have to worry about that problem of using an emulator to where, yeah, sure, emulators will allow you to play mobile games on the PC, but there is a drawback to that. And a lot of the times that drawback is the fact that when it comes to emulators, you're going to lose a decent amount of performance by doing so. So that's very cool. And if you guys do decide to play both of the different or play on both different devices, make sure that you're using the specific optimized client for the device that you are playing on. Now moving on to number 6 on the list is there is an insane amount of early game content. And I really mean a complete insane amount. This is why I've been so drawn to playing this game pretty much all morning long, is I really haven't had an opportunity to take a break from it. I always just keep finding more stuff to do. There's always stuff to do to upgrade my heroes, or more missions to actually run through, events. There's a ton of events, and just when you think that you've run out of stuff to do, there's going to be even more. And the fact that there is no energy system as well means that there's really literally nothing that is holding you back from playing the game if you want to play. It's one of those games where if you want to play and find stuff to do, you're going to be able to play and find stuff to do. There's not going to be any kind of limitation like energy preventing you from either having to spend money to keep playing or having you have to wait in order to continue playing the game. So don't have to worry about running out of stuff to do in this game for a long time if you do decide to try it out. So that's going to be number 6 on the list. Number 7 is there's actual events with new content. Now, I'm not making any kind of references to any other games or anything like that, okay? But the events actually provide new content, and it's not just going to be running through the same already existing content that we have in the game. And because this is going to be published by Epic Games, a very well-known studio, you could definitely count on there to be a lot of new frequently updated events in the future. And you can see that we've got the new player challenges, which I've been working on, Hall of Darkness, Hall of Gold, treasure maps, lots of stuff to do, lots of stuff that's going to be updated, and the actual events will take you to new maps and new content instead of just looping you back to the actual map here where you have the pre-existing campaign content and just continuing to farm that in order to complete the event. So that's really cool, and another thing that's going to keep the game lots of stuff to do even as you get to the mid and the late game. Now moving on from number 7 to number 8, high production value, good animations, good video, good sound. The soundtrack is great. Epic Games, obviously one of the most well-known game studios in the world, especially with Fortnite. You guys can count that this game is not going to be going anywhere soon. It's going to be updated frequently. The production value is going to be very high, and they're definitely going to spend a good amount of money keeping this game updated and up to pace. So if you're looking for that, those of you guys who might play other games, I know for me personally, high production value, not really having a very cheap feel to a game is kind of important. And a lot of certain games that are more animated theme, a lot of the times you don't really get a feel for this until you actually start playing the game, but they really don't have a lot of production value to them, and they can be very sluggish, especially with the animations and the actual combat. You will not get this feeling when it comes to Battle Breakers because of the amount of money and effort that Epic Games has put into this. So that's going to end up being number 8 on the list. Number 9 is, of course, it is from a reliable studio, so kind of looping back to that theme of you really don't need to worry about this game going anywhere anytime soon. Epic Games is very well known for Fortnite. They make a lot of money, so this game is going to be updated and up to pace for a long time to come. So you don't have to feel bad getting invested, especially with certain mobile games that come out from lesser known studios. You never really know what might happen in the future. Either they're not going to get updated too much more, or sometimes the games just completely shut down and disappear. And it really sucks, especially with mobile games. You put a lot of time, effort, dedication, and then you have to kind of risk that with those smaller titles. Something might happen. Well, something is definitely not going to happen with Battle Breakers because it's coming from Epic Games. And now moving on to the last thing on the list, of course, I always like to mention this is the most important thing by far, and that is it's fun. I mean, yes, this is a sponsored video, of course, thanks again to Epic Games, but I've been playing now for about, I think, 4.5 hours, and I definitely haven't had to be playing for that long. There's a lot to do. It's very enjoyable. The heroes are interesting, and just when you think you've run out of stuff to do, there's going to be even more. So you don't really feel like you need to spend any kind of money on the game, at least not now anyway. I don't really know if that's going to change in the future, but I could say the game's very generous with the amount of stuff that it hands out for free. The Battle Pass system looks really cool. Yes, even though it technically does cost $5, it still does look pretty cool, and I think that's a cool take on kind of like a pay-to-play feature of the game, and it's just an overall enjoyable experience. So if you guys are interested in checking out Battle Breakers, I will leave links in the description, in the comments. Please, guys, if you do decide to play, feel free to use my supporter creator code, NotSalt. I really appreciate it, everyone, and I think I'm going to end up leaving it here for the video. So once again, thank you to Epic Games for sponsoring this video, and yeah, that'll be that. Have a great day, everyone. Take care, and until next time, this is Salt of the Salty Guild, signing out.